Everyone says you have to persist to manifest what you want. Decide, claim it, hold the vision. And then in the same breath, they tell you you have to detach or you'll block it. So which is it? Because if you persist too hard, you're forcing. And if you detach too much, it feels like just giving up. Today, I'm going to show you how to do both at the same time and why this is actually the fastest way to manifest without spiraling, overthinking, or emotionally exhausting yourself. By the end, you'll understand exactly how to stay committed to what you want without gripping it, and why this is the piece most people are missing when manifestation feels slow or inconsistent. All right, let's get into it. If we haven't met yet, welcome. I'm Mariah. I'm a business and mindset coach and also the owner and creative director of a luxury branding agency. On this channel, I talk about becoming the version of you who can hold more. More money, more visibility, more freedom, and more luxury without burning out or pretending you believe perfectly all the time. If that's your lane, hit subscribe. This is the work we do here. Now, let's talk about why manifestation feels so confusing for so many people. Why most people are detached, but still spiraling. A lot of people think they're detached. They'll say things like, I'm letting it go, or I'm trusting the universe, or I'm surrendered. But then they're checking their bank account 10 times a day, refreshing their inbox, watching their metrics, reading the energy of every tiny sign. That's not detachment. That's denial. Detachment isn't pretending you don't care. It's not emotionally ghosting your desire, and it's definitely not needing to monitor the outcome to feel okay. So this is where most people get stuck because they're trying to manifest while emotionally checking for proof. Every quick peek asks, is it here yet? And underneath that question is fear. That fear is what slows things down. The year I manifested faster than ever. Now, let me show you what this actually looked like in my own life. My Superbloom year. This was the year I 3x'd my revenue, got fully booked with dream 5-figure clients, and did it while only working 3 days a week. And I want to be very clear about something. This was not a season of hustle. It wasn't a year of forcing, and it was not a year of white-knuckling manifestation. It was the fastest manifestation season of my life because I finally understood how to persist and detach at the same time. This was the year where things moved quickly, not because I was doing more, but because I stopped doing the messy version of manifestation. The secret manifestation hack, persisting without obsessing. Most people misunderstand persistence. They think persistence means thinking about the thing constantly, reaffirming it every hour, emotionally holding on to it until it shows up. That's not persistence. That's obsession. Real persistence is calm. Persistence is an identity decision, not an emotional one. Persistence sounds like, this is happening. I've already decided. Persistence means you keep showing up as the version of you who expects this to work, even when your emotions wobble. Because believe me, your emotions will wobble. Some days you'll feel powerful and aligned. Other days, you'll feel ridiculous and unsure. Persistence cannot depend on how you feel. Persistence is who you've decided to be. And this is where speed comes from. Momentum shows up when you stop questioning yourself. How I persisted and detached at the same time. This became crystal clear to me when I decided to host my Superbloom event. I had 4 months to pull it off. 4 months. That meant venues, contracts, timelines, logistics, everything had to move fast, like so fast. And it turns out that was actually the key. I didn't give myself time to waffle. I signed contracts within days. I made decisions quickly. I moved forward without revisiting them emotionally. Not because I was reckless, but because I was decided. Persistence looked like action. Detachment looked like emotional neutrality. I wasn't spiraling about whether it would or wouldn't work. I wasn't imagining worst case scenarios. I wasn't micromanaging the outcome. And I didn't spend time second guessing the $60,000 price tag. I moved and then I let it flow. The truth, detachment isn't letting go. It's letting it flow. This is where people get detachment wrong. Detachment doesn't mean you stop wanting the thing. Detachment means you stop emotionally gripping the thing. You stop constricting its airways, cutting off the blood flow, and you just give it the space to breathe. During that entire season, I lived from two thoughts. Everything always works out for me, and this is meant to be. That's it. I didn't argue with myself. I didn't entertain competing narratives. I didn't try to out-logic my fear. I simply didn't give space to thoughts that created anxiety. That's detachment. Not force, not suppression, choice. And that choice created calm. Calm created clarity, and clarity created speed. Beware of the ego trap that slows manifestation. This is where something I read recently really clicked for me. In his new book, Aaron Abke talks about the 3 core beliefs of the ego: lack, attachment, and control. Lack says, I'm incomplete. Attachment says, my happiness depends on the outcome. And control says, I must manage every detail for this to work. And those beliefs create all emotional suffering. Just think about that. Bold statement, but it's true. Lack creates sadness. Attachment creates fear, and control creates anger. Most people are trying to manifest while living inside of all 3. They want the thing because they feel incomplete. They believe happiness is on the other side of the result, and they try to control the process to feel safe. That combination slows everything down, way down. Manifestation speeds up when you drop control, not desire. And this is where people get tripped up because they think dropping control means caring less. It doesn't. It means you stop trying to manage how it happens, when it happens, and what it's supposed to look like to prove that you're safe. Control is the part of you that's constantly scanning for reassurance. It's checking timelines. It's replaying conversations. It's mentally rehearsing worst case scenarios. Desire, on the other hand, is clean. Desire just says, this is what I want. Control says, here's exactly how it needs to show up, or I'll panic. So when I say drop control, I actually mean this. Stop emotionally monitoring the process. For me, that looked like making the decision and then refusing to babysit it. I wasn't asking myself every day, is this still working? Did I mess up? Should I do something different? I wasn't checking for signs. I wasn't looking for proof to calm my nervous system. I made the move and then I went back to living my life. That's detachment. Not pretending you don't want the thing, but trusting yourself enough to stop hovering over it. And if you notice yourself wanting to control, it's not failure, it's just information. It's just your nervous system saying, I don't feel safe yet. So instead of forcing yourself to let go, you come back to grounding thoughts, the ones that don't create urgency or fear. For me, it was the same too. Everything always works out for me, and this is meant to be. So steal them for yourself. Those thoughts weren't about convincing myself. They were about calming myself. That's how you drop control without dropping the desire. I'll link Aaron's book below. It's a powerful reframe if detachment has felt confusing or frustrating to you. Why this is the fastest way to manifest. So here's how this works. Persistence is commitment. Detachment is emotional freedom. Persistence says, I'm moving forward. Detachment says, I don't need reassurance. Persistence lives in identity. Detachment lives in trust. When you combine the two, manifestation becomes clean. No more spiraling, no emotional monitoring, no constant checking. Just movement and flow. And this is exactly the work we do inside of Superbloom Coach Society. This isn't manifesting in theory. This is practicing future self-identity in real time. Inside the society, we focus on making decisions from power instead of fear, dropping emotional attachment to the outcome, becoming the version of you who can hold a bigger business, bigger income, and a bigger life. This month, we're doing deep future self-work, learning how to live as her now, not someday. So if you're done manifesting in theory and ready to start living as your future self now, my coaching membership, Superbloom Coach Society, is where that happens. Inside, we focus on the identity shifts that allow you to 10x your business, expand your income, and make decisions from power instead of fear. This is for the woman who knows she's capable of more and is finally ready to stop waiting for permission. You'll find the link below. I'd love to welcome you inside. And this is where things get really interesting, because once you understand how to persist without gripping and detach without quitting, the next question becomes, how do you actually trust yourself to live that future consistently? That's exactly what I break down in the next video, how I manifested the impossible, and you can too. That video connects the identity story to everything we just talked about here, the belief shifts, the decisions, the becoming. Go watch that next. It's linked in the description. I'll meet you over there.